This is a bit early since Rosalia isn't done yet, but it might get finished in the next few days, and if it does, then I won't be able to make this tier list for a good bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and make it the tier list a bit early, because we have every merge except for one, so it's fine. This is going to be my personal opinion on each Inferno Ring merge ranked on the list. This is most likely how I'll end up voting them in the tournament. I'll make a separate tier list later for actual predictions on how I think the merge will do in the tournament. But this is just going to be my personal opinions for fun. Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of orange. I think for other tourneys, I've just done the predictions tier list, but for this one, I specifically want to do a normal tier list because I want to recognize just how many amazing Inferno Ring merges there are. So I want to show all the S tier merges that have been made for this tournament instead of the predictions format where there's just going to be one merge at the top, then one merge, two merges, four merges. I don't think that really. I don't think that really shows how big of a tournament this is. And yeah, it'll be fun recording it, giving my opinions on every Inferno Ring merge. So let's go ahead and get into it. Starting with real sad little guy. This poor fella. I made this merge when I was a bit cocky about my abilities. I had been getting a lot of compliments about, oh yeah, Amber is so good at fire. Ooh, all the fire merges are so good. So I was like, yeah, I'm great at fire. I'll just draw some cool fire in a merge, and then I'll be a great merge. And I made this for a tournament. I want to say it was something like Improvable or one of those tournaments. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but it was a merging tourney, and I remember Jolly was telling me that it was bad because it didn't have any clothes and it didn't look much like Inferno Ring. It just looked like a monkey on fire. But I was like, yeah, what do you know? I'm great at merging. I'm gonna submit this and it's gonna win its group and it's gonna go awesome. So I was just ignoring all his critiques. Although he was a bit mean about it, but that doesn't matter. Uh, Finally, I submitted it, and it got last place in its group, and it did very, very bad. And Jolly was very, I forget what the word is, but it was definitely an "I told you so" moment, and that was not too fun. Okay, wait, do I have important messages I need to check right now? Okay, wait 1 second. This might be important. Oh, that's wrong. I mean that's not me. Oh, that's multiple people that I know. Oof. Okay, well, yeah, that's not too far from me. So yeah, I don't think that's a terrible merge though. Like, it's not F tier. The combo definitely isn't very clear, but I think I'd put it in like C tier. It's just kind of whatever. Yeah, so it's one of my least favorite merges I've made just because of the very sad story behind it. I don't plan to talk about every merge this much, but this is just a notable one. It's a sour spot in my career. I kind of wanted to remake it for this just to get rid of it, be gone, but I don't really care. Adora, probably D tier. I mean, it's fine. It's not a very clean merge if you look at it up close, but it works. It works fine enough for what it is. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. I'm gonna reserve F tier for merges that are just ugly. Just they're just ugly to look at. Yeah, F tier is basically just going to be like improvable merges, and this merge isn't improvable. It's just a bit messy. This one, I believe, used to be one of the top tier merges. For now, I think I would put it in A tier. It's like a low A tier, but it's an A tier. I think it's definitely a very cool looking merge. I think it could have just looked more like Inferno Ring, because as is, it looks more like a fire wizard than an Inferno Ring wizard. You know, it doesn't really have. I guess it's kind of the same issue as this. It doesn't really have Inferno Ring elements. It just has fire elements. Now this one is S tier. This one's very cool. It's definitely hard to see it at this scale, but yeah, the like giant flame breath, it's awesome. Huge fan. It's just talking about this merge. Um, it has a very solid idea, but I think it's just not executed in a very interesting way. I think it's just a really old merge, and it just be that way. I think I'd put this probably in C tier. It's not edited as well as this, but it works a lot better conceptually, and it reuses both towers very nicely. But yeah, it's like it has the banana thing there, and it has the bananas on the floor, and then the rest of it is just recolored blue and yellow. And I think if I were to do this merge, and I was definitely kind of considering it a bit because I think this would be fun to do with an iRing base. If I were to do it, then I would make that the whole aesthetic of it fits central, like it's feel like 100% the central aesthetic, because then that would give it a more cohesive theme. Whereas as is, it still has like the very fiery looking guns, and it still has the rivets or bolts or whatever, and it still just has a lot of little iRing bits in the aesthetic. Sorry, I'm not listening in please. This is a very critical time because I'm doing a thing tomorrow and I'm going on a trip to San Diego. Okay. Yeah, it just could be a bit more cohesive, but it's pretty cool. Bin jamming. It's like a solid B tier. It doesn't fit the BTD6 style quite perfectly, but it fits it well enough, and it's a very fun idea. Could maybe go in A tier, but I'll leave it in B tier for now. Because it also could read better as Inferno Ring. It's like it's a little pizza oven first and an Inferno Ring merge second, you know? Definitely the kind of merge where it's like, ooh, I want to do this thing. Okay, now what towers can I use to do that thing? Well, maybe not, but yeah. It's just not prioritizing the merge at all. This is like D tier. Yeah. There are like major parts that are unedited. Like the ring is still red instead of being more like an Inferno Ring orange. The wheel, it's just a lot of big unedited parts that could have been made to look more like Inferno Ring. And the tiny little fireball coming out, not cool. Like you have this giant gun here. Well, giant. What do you call that? Barrel? I don't know. Giant shooty hole, but there's only this tiny little thing coming out of it. This one's like almost F tier, but it's not. It's like low D tier. If you have a cannon this big, it needs to be shooting something bigger than that. Something bigger than a hot pebble. This one's pretty cool. Give it A tier. Yeah, that's a fun one. I like it. Does the ring aesthetic well? Mm, this concept definitely could be S tier if it was just kind of executed a bit better. Where it's a little hard to tell here, but it's not super like clean and geometrical. It definitely looks like it was drawn when machines shouldn't really look drawn. There's some odd things like you can't tell from this size, but the face was completely redrawn, even though it's mostly the same. Like I don't really know why that was done. I also don't know why it only has 3 layers. Like, and the way the layers were drawn, it doesn't really fit the normal bad's perspective. Normally, it very much looks like you're looking up at the bads, but this way it looks a lot more sideways, which is just less cool. It almost looks as if it wasn't drawn over the original tower. Like it almost looks as if they just had like the original tower over here, and then they completely redrew it over here. And it's like they got really close, and it has like the same silhouette, but then it's just not perfect. And a lot of the finer details of the original art got muddied out with how it was redrawn, and that hurts it quite a bit. So that's another like low A tier when it could have been S tier if it was just executed a bit better. This is our no. I was gonna say this is our first true I-ring base, but this one. This one's kind of upsetting because it had a really well, it had a decent idea. I mean, having like a golden Inferno ring tower, like it could look super cool with the gemstones, and it could be done really well. But then it was held back a lot by the idea of having the lead to gold thing happening, which is, it's kind of a fun, quirky idea. But then it just makes it look really boring. Where the original tower has this giant spouting flame at the top. This just has 3 black bricks, and it makes the merge look very boring. Uh, Almost D tier. It might be D tier. I think I'll leave it at like low C tier. Yeah, like it. Like if you had like the balloon up here, that would be pretty good. It's just missing something more cool, you know? Like I don't want to say your merge has to be flashy, but if your merge looks less interesting than the original base, then you're kind of doing something wrong. And in this case, it looks much less interesting than the original Inferno ring. This one is S tier. I really like the way this was done. Like giant fire everywhere, and the pose of the monkey, and the whole composition of the shot with the mortar and the fireball. I think it's really cool. I'm not really ordering these in tiers, but we would go above that. I can order them in tiers for now, but as I get further down, it's going to get harder. Mm, it's solid C tier. Could look a bit more like bomblets, but at least it has an actual decent sized bomb instead of a small marble. One's B tier. I like it. I think it's cool. It's just again, this is hard to tell at the scale, but it lacks a lot of the shading that Inferno Ring usually has. Inferno Ring has like, I mean, it has this giant like gradient over the entire thing, but this looks very flat. If it had shading, it would look a lot nicer, but as is, it's fine. It could just use more detail. This one maybe also B tier, maybe C tier. I think I'll give it C tier. I'm not a fan of the orange ship. I think if I were to do this, I would have like I would make the ship like at least half black, as is. Just having the entire thing be a bright orange, it looks strange. I think Pirate Lord did it better, probably. I know it's actually pretty similar, but at least it has like a sort of like red to yellow gradient, whereas it's just orange, and it doesn't like everything here is orange, and it kind of makes it look less like Inferno Ring, where it's not just all flat orange, you know. Churchill, this one is kind of a bit messy. Like I don't know why the helmet is fire. I guess it's supposed to look like the upgrade icon for Inferno Ring, but honestly, you shouldn't really use the Inferno Ring upgrade icon. It's just this weird fire monster that doesn't have anything to do with the actual tower. Just ignore that weird thing. Maybe put it up in B tier, but it's kind of a bit of an ugly merch to look at. Like just with all the random things happening all over the place, it's pretty messy. And also, I don't know why the entire thing is glowing instead of just the actual fire parts. Yeah. I'm also not really sure why it used this odd Churchill base instead of the normal Churchillas. I think this is based on a screenshot from Battles 2 during the matchup screen. And that's the base, which is kind of odd. Definitely could have just used the normal Churchill, but it's fine. You know what? No, it's C tier. Sorry. But it's like high C tier. This one's funky. It it's a really fun idea having it being a burning bush. I really like it, but the head shape is very strange. Yeah, it's a fun idea, but not executed best. So it's like another middling C tier. Hmm. There's a lot of C tiers now. Could maybe elevate this. I guess it's clear. I'll elevate that one. Fossil Master, that's like D tier. Yeah, that it just doesn't look very good. The way most of it is just like the normal monkey, but it's just slightly more red. Like it doesn't look very good. It doesn't really have enough Inferno Ring parts. It's another example where it's less Inferno Ring and more just vague fire. The only exception being like the little uh, scope. This one's pretty cool though. This one a B tier. It's kind of neat. Yeah, yeah, pretty solid. I like the goggles. I think they're pretty cool. It's like a high B tier. Zeely. I do kind of like the colors here. I don't really like the upgrade icon just poking out of the staff. It looks kind of silly. The fire hair is cool. It's like low B tier. Maybe high C tier. It'd make B tier if it had a little bit more of an Inferno Ring vibe. Yeah. This one has an Inferno Ring vibe. This was this was an interesting combo choice. It's just during a tourney. I forget which tourney it was. Maybe Clash of the Ages. Or no, I think it was the color tourney. Yeah, this was a quirky one. I do like the fireballs coming out of it. Yeah, that's pretty solid. Maybe could have used more fire. Hmm. I feel like I should have a tier between these two. Maybe? This feels better than the rest of the ones in this tier. But I don't know if it matches the ones in this tier. Should I add another tier? Um, hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Maybe I should have reorganized this. I think I have enough tiers, but maybe I should reorganize. Maybe I can move some of the worse C tiers down into D tier. Like this one. That doesn't look much like Inferno Ring just because it's all orange instead of like black and orange and yellow and red. And then maybe I will elevate this to B tier. Wait, what am I doing? Maybe I demote this to C tier and put this back in C tier. Then I could put this in B tier because B tier kind of looks better now. I think I'm fine with that. I think. Shit, this is why I usually end up not. This is I usually don't actually use tier names, and instead I'll just have like amazing, awesome merges, and then like the really cool merges, and like cool, and like the fine merges, and me. So I feel like that's often a bit more clear than just C. Because what does C really mean? It's very subjective. Uh, I'll go with this for now. Feels like a low C. Maybe a high D even. Honestly, I probably will go with high D. It's like maybe just low C. Yeah, this one it just this was what I this was during the Beast Handler starting tourney, and this was the merge where I learned the lesson that Beast Handler merges need to have the monkey in there. You can't just have the beast. That doesn't really work. It just looked weird having it be just a dinosaur. The dinosaur base I used, it was an asset that was made for another merge, and so I just like recolored it black and stuff, and I think it just looks a bit odd. I think I'll leave it in D tier, honestly. Like it might be cool if it was a custom drawn dinosaur, but it's not. This one is honestly F tier. It's not like not, pretty much all the edits are just not very good. Like we need to pull this one up in full view. I might need to. Where are you? Yeah. Like I don't know why there's a sans eye. I don't know why there's a random circle and a random upgrade icon on the hood. I don't know why the hood is a dark red instead of, orange. Like like this like dark maroonish sort of like that's not Inferno Ring. The giant fire acid in the background not really working. This this hand thing it honestly like could work. Like I could accept that, but when this is the best edit of the entire merge, that's a bit unfortunate. Yeah, it's just not working for me. Most of the edits are not really good, and there are a lot of parts that still kind of need to be edited, like the glaive still having white parts. Like there's no white on Inferno Ring. The parts that are edited look bad, and the parts that aren't edited need to be edited. So that's an F tier. Okay, this one maybe also be pulled up in full view, just because this is a detailed merge. Looks pretty cool though. Orange and green kind of works better than I expected it to, although it's not quite perfect. I think Sabo is a bit hard to read. I think something maybe could have been done with the smoke that Sabo has and its ability. I think that would have been kind of cool to use that. So we already have the fire, then use the smoke too. Yeah, that's alright. Mm, it looks really cool. I think I think the colors could have maybe been a bit better, and it could have looked a bit more like Dune Sabo. Oh, I do. What's this? I do like the thing with the little eye things. I don't know. Might have been a bit cooler if it was more like the tier 4, where it would look a little more like eyes. I think that would work well. I'll put it in a high B tier. Let me just what the expect to see Gwen next. Oh well, who knows where Gwen is? Uh, Gwen is A tier. I like it. Probably high A tier too. Mm, yeah. I think the only thing that could have been better here was the dress, where it looks metallic like Inferno Ring, yet it's flowing freely. And the proportions could have been a bit better too. I think I would put it under Archmage. See that one? Let's just stop. This one's really neat. I think this looks very cool. Uh, the main thing I don't like is that it's all symmetrical, like symmetry tool right down the middle, and then the whole merge is drawn like that. And in a vacuum, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine way to draw art, and it looks very cool. But as a BTD6 merge, there just aren't any BTD6 towers that are perfectly symmetrical. Like I think the only tower that's even close to being symmetrical is Obin, and even then he's still not symmetrical. But yeah, like buildings especially, I don't think you'll find any buildings in BTD6, any like actual towers where it's like perfectly symmetrical and it's not looking down or up. It's just like a straight side view. The buildings will usually have something. I mean, something like this where you're looking down at it at an angle. So I think this is very well drawn. It looks really cool. I'd put it A tier. No, B tier. Oh, it's kind of hard. I'll give it an A. Yeah, no, high B. Yeah, it looks really cool. It just doesn't fit how BGD6 would do it. This odd fellow. Huh. Wait for it. Okay, I don't know how that's ordered. mm, Impale D, maybe F tier. I guess the edits are probably clean enough, but it doesn't really look like Inferno Ring because once again it's all orange. I mean that's just a really hard combo. Like to make this combo work, you would need to do a lot of work, and it would be way harder than what was done here. But yeah, it's pretty ugly looking. Jericho, maybe A tier. I'll go with A tier. No, A tier. Pretty well done. As far as these like metal monkey merges go. I usually don't really care for merges where the monkey's just turned into a bizarre machine, like robot looking ones. Yeah, I definitely personally prefer when it's like a regular monkey, but then they'll have like armor or the things they're holding will be all metallic and stuff. But it's fine. This this barely looks like an Inferno Ring merge. That's low D tier. It's probably above those two though. No, not above this one. Yeah, it's like mostly unedited, and then the edits that are there don't really make any sense. Is he stepping on a tiny? Oh my gosh. I don't know. I think that honestly, I think that's F tier. It's it's like it doesn't look as ugly as this one, but then at least this one looks more edited. Whereas this one just has like a couple things change, and the things that are changed barely even look like actual changes. Like, why is it mostly a deep maroon? That's not how that works. Should have just made it look like the heat suit from Lego Batman, and then it would have been cool. This one's S tier. This one's super cool. Now it's getting hard to like actually order these. I'll just leave it at the bottom there. I think it's probably the bottommost. Yeah, that one's awesome. I think the other thing holding it back is that it feels a bit too orange. I could have used a bit more black. Or at least like more gradients and stuff, because it's also a bit of a flat looking orange. This is... Oh, sure. This one might be the best. Now it's going top of S tier. I'll decide the best one at the end. This one's just amazing. It's pretty much perfect. Like maybe bordering on over detailed, but I don't think it is over detailed. It's just highly detailed. Yeah, it's super cool. This one would also go in S tier. I think it'll stay like right there. I don't like how much of it is blue. So it makes it feel less like Inferno Ring. And also blue isn't something I associate that much with Master Bomber. I know it has that blue background thing, but yeah, I just don't really think of the background as an important Master Bomber element. But it's still really cool. The pose is awesome. The framing, yeah, it's really neat, and it's really well edited. Just the worst of the S tiers so far. Not the worst, the weakest of the S tiers. This one's pretty cool. I kind of wish the face was a bit brighter. Maybe I guess the anchor probably works. I don't know why the Inferno Ring Fireball is red in the center. Kind of looks weird, but whatever. This does do the thing I don't really like with Megalodon merges when they use the Megalodon base even though they're not underwater, because then the perspective doesn't work where... Let me see if I can pull this up. Please. You're in here. Maybe? Doesn't look like it. Oh, we'll get to it eventually. Oops. Hi. Oops. What the heck? What? Come on. This is important. I need to find this. Where are you? There you are. Do you see how the foot is just floating in the air compared to the anchor? That's how Megalodon is. But that's because Megalodon is underwater. There are bubbles around it. It's an underwater tower, which is why the monkey... It kind of looks like it's just standing there, but it's actually floating. So whenever people take it out of the water, then it looks weird because it's still floating, but now it's just floating, and it doesn't make sense. Anyways, I think I'd put it in B tier. Some of the yellow details look kind of out of place, and in general, it just doesn't pull off the... It'd be like low B tier. It doesn't pull off the Inferno Ring aesthetic as well as I would like. It's unfortunate because it's really well edited. Like, the anchor looks amazing. I'd probably put like... No, it's higher up here. Like, the anchor does look really good. It's kind of just held back by the general color scheme not being the best, especially in the face. Like, the face should be one of the most cool looking details, but instead it's all just kind of a very flat... It's a very like flat orange, even though there is stuff in there. Like, it just should be much brighter than that. There's this much glow coming out of there, yet the fire inside actually looks really dark. Oh my gosh. Hi, Domferno. I have no idea. I have no idea which of these two is better. I think I'm just gonna leave it right there for now. Pat the That's a pretty cool guy. Like maybe A tier, maybe high B tier. I think it's mostly pretty cool, but sometimes it's just kind of weird. Like, okay, this is clearly supposed to be like all metal, but then the metal is curving a lot. That doesn't make sense. It's it's really unfortunate that this was made before the kaiju skin got released because the kaiju skin would literally be perfect for this. Like this merch would be way better if it was just made later. In the brew. Mm, oh, I guess I need to eat something. I've been eating all day. Uh, you know that. This is pretty cool. I like it. I'd be like, would I give it A tier? Probably not. It needs to be a bit more cool looking for A tier. But I'll give it like a good B tier. Pretty pretty good execution of the Inferno ring base. This guy's funny. It's like C tier. Maybe it could be nice and elevated further, but yeah, the like translucent fire over the body, it looks strange. Can I find it? Let's show you what I'm talking about. Doesn't look like it. Oh well. Yeah, this poor monkey is on fire, except the fire looks weird because it's translucent, and you should not have translucent fire because that's not how fire looks. Fire isn't really translucent. This where would it go in S tier? I think it'd be on the lower side of S tier. Once again, I just don't care much for the like blue and green towards the bottom, but it's still super cool. I put it here. Yeah, very awesome. I'm disappointed that it's so awesome because I would love to do this with an Inferno Ring base, but it's like, yeah, heartbreaking. The combo you wanted to do looks incredible. Impossible to replace. I actually quite like this one. This is like high A tier. That's just really cleanly done. I think the little fire hair, it looks fun. Like this is just very cleanly done. I'm a big fan. We just need like one extra little wow factor to be up in top tier. I think I think it maybe could have gotten there if the random feathers floating around, if those were all turned into like bits of fire, I think that would have been cool. Yeah, just go crazy with the fire. Have fun. It might also be A tier. It's pretty cleanly done. B tier. I don't like preamp. This merges with it use like ballistic missile base, and it doesn't really look like preamp. Preamp is just a bad tower. This one's S tier. High S tier too. I think the only thing holding this back is that there's nothing really happening in the center of the merge. Like the very centerpiece of the merge is just this like empty black stage, and there's not really anything happening there. It's been unfortunate because everything else looks fantastic. I can't believe this was just drawn like freehand and not off of any 3D model or anything. Because the perspective is incredibly well done. I'm super impressed by it. What's the darkness? What in the world is going on with you? Mm, mm. Can I find you in here? Mm. I need to get a closer look at this. Mm, mm. There you are. Yeah, what the? Hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's high F tier at least. And this is, oh, E tier. Very cool. Like, pretty fun. It's another case where I would kind of prefer if it was a normal monkey, but then like the whole suit was all orange and stuff, rather than like, yep, it's a robot monkey. Wait, no, actually it works better here because there is Robo Quincy. So yeah, that's fine. That checks out. It looks like Spider-Man. Sada, huh? Get a closer look at Sada, please. I would really like a closer look at Sada. It's hard to see here, and I haven't looked at this merge much before. Sada, where are you? Oh, wait, there she is. Hmm. I really just don't like the yellow headband. Like that immediately jumps out. The only yellow parts of Inferno Ring are small stripes. So anytime a merge has a large yellow part, I just oh no, I see what's going on. This is based on the tier 3, which is all yellow. Even still, I don't like it. It muddies the whole theme of Inferno Ring, even if it is from the same path. It's the kind of thing where I think you should like the tier 3 has a different aesthetic from the tier 5, so you kind of have to just pick one of them. Just pick one theme because they don't go together very well. So yeah, just in general, this doesn't give me Inferno Ring vibes as much as I would like it to, but it's still well done, well edited. The fire swords are obviously awesome, even though I wish they were glowing. Some glow would have made it look cooler. Uh, these handles. This is a nitpick. I don't really care about this too much, but why are the handles this kind of thing? It makes them look like they would burn your hands if you touched them. Handles are supposed to look like you can hold them. Um, would it be 80? I think it's like middle B tier. Century Paragon. It's like low E tier. I think it's pretty cool. Um, this is one of my merges. Can I see this? Wait, was that it? No, it's just two other merges of mine. Is my merge over here or is it over there? Who knows? Could be anywhere. Oh, nice. Have I not seen it yet? Oops. So weird hearing from course play each other's songs. Okay, never mind. I'm barely even focusing on this at this point. I think the fire in the helmet looks a little weird. I wanted it to be like, oh, it has like fire painted on, so it's still like shaded a bit, but it just kind of looks weird. But this entry's kind of fun. Although I don't really, I'm not the biggest fan of how I did the fire here. Like it feels like it's just way too big of a spout of fire. Just the shape of it is weird. Yeah, like if you're doing like a giant fire blast, I like the way it's shaped here. Whereas here, I don't really know what's going on here. Like it's shooting out, but then it just kind of stops here. I don't know. Yeah, I don't like the shape, but it's still pretty cool. Well, this is a janky one. They replaced the fire with just different looking fire. It's cool. Uh, it's like high B tier. It could just be a bit. I don't know. I think the image could just kind of be composed better, but it's still pretty cool. This is much like Century Paragon. This is another merge that I made. So I think it's a lot like Century Paragon, but just a bit better. I put like middle A tier. Once again, I'm just not super happy with how I did the fire. I've always struggled with how exactly to shape fire. Here's another one of mine, but this one's like low B, maybe middle B. Like having the fireball and the fire at once. No, no, no. And then the cloak is all just red, and the eyes are yellow. No, yeah. Still want to duel with this though, so Ignore the fact that was only because the other merge never got finished. Annie. Oops. Don't need this. Annie looks a bit odd. Did I go past it? Can, it's so hard to find stuff here. I just don't want to open. Like, I could just find everything in here, but I don't want to open a million windows of merges. Here we are. Yeah, it just doesn't really match Inferno Ring at all. It's really well drawn, but it it barely feels like Inferno Ring. Like, okay, we have the fire, except it just looks very different from Inferno Ring's fire. Like, I don't know why you didn't just color pick from Inferno Ring. There's this deep red in the fire that is definitely not in Inferno Ring's fire. The base of the fire, an Inferno Ring, it is like full white. It is white. I forget what the hex code for white is, but it is completely white because fire is really bright. But this is not white. It's just like a sort of light desaturated yellow, which makes it look pretty dim. Yeah, that's just the fire looks dim and dark because it doesn't have white at the base, and also the colors are all desaturated for some reason, so it just makes it look bad like that. Like if you just take a gander over here, very white, very orange and yellow, very saturated. Your fire shouldn't have red. Your fire shouldn't have desaturated colors, and your fire should have white. This one is doing everything right. Even this one does it right. This one does it right. Though these are just kind of taking it from Inferno Ring. This one does it right. This one doesn't do it right. There are a few merges that have pretty dim looking fire, but this one is like particularly not good. And then I don't like how the head is mostly the same like bluish sort of gray that Annie Bloon has, because it kind of clashes with everything else. Inferno Ring just doesn't have that color. And if I just try to find Inferno Ring colors, if I look for that classic like orange and yellow gradient, I don't really see it anywhere. It's mostly red and like very desaturated red and like dark desaturated orange. I'm not really sure what's going on here. I have no idea why it's blue here. Like, genuinely, I am not sure what these look like blue rubber bits or something. And maybe they're supposed to be balloons? Yeah, I just don't like them. And the pose, is he doing a plie? Like, genuinely, is this monkey doing a plie? It looks odd. It really sucks because it looks super cool and it's really well drawn, and it actually matches the BTD6 style pretty well. But then there's just a lot of small things like the colors are very. Uh, the colors don't feel like Inferno Ring on that, and that kind of just kind of ruins it. Puts it in like C tier, even though it's drawn as well as like some of the S tier ones. It's too bad. See, this is an odd one. I can't tell what base this is using. Is it using a base? I can't tell if this is like one of the upgrade icons. So I think this is tax zone. I think this would also be like a low B tier. It really does just look more like an upgrade icon than an actual thing, in my opinion. Like, I'm kind of struggling to imagine this tower being placed on a map and popping balloons. It's just the way it's drawn. It looks like an icon. This is like F tier. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's just total transformation, except it's all very desaturated orange. It doesn't look like Inferno Ring. It just looks orange. The only part that actually kind of looks like Inferno Ring is that little bit of fire. but there are multiple fire towers. Not it. S tier peak. This one's super cool. I'll leave it right there. Yeah, this one's awesome. Really well done. Uh, although it has always kind of felt like it's lacking something. I don't know. It really is. Also, it's tricky. It's like everything is done genuinely perfectly, yet I think compared to all the big effects, the heli itself looks kind of small. Because it does just kind of have very like slender sort of build. Yeah, I guess I just kind of wish it had more bulk to it, but even still, it looks awesome. Um, so this one, yeah, it's fine. It's a little upsetting that like a lot of the boxes here were changed to be like the right colors, but then some of them are still just white for no reason. Like go all the way, change all the colors. You changed most of the flags, but some of them are still green. I'm really confused why there are so many spots where it's like they changed the colors, but they just left a few of them for some reason. Like this green is clashing so hard with everything. I like the coals though. That's a really creative detail. Mm, it's like C tier. C tier used to be so big, but now B tier is a lot bigger. That's odd. Like low C tier. This is maybe high C tier. This as well. This is a solid A tier. Mm, this is one of my merges. I think this was the last Inferno Ring merge I made before we started doing this tournament or working towards this tournament. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think the fireball works pretty well, even though I think it's just an asset I didn't even draw. But I did draw everything for the Juggernaut itself. And I drew the little outfit on the monkey. That was kind of fun. It's feeling for like a sort of like mechanic repairman looking vibe. I think it works. Uh, I'll allow the upgrade icon because it does kind of fit. Like if there's anywhere where there would just be like a picture printed on something, that yeah, it would be a teacup. It's called baseball cap. Teacup. Baseball cap. Yes. Yeah, I like it. Fireball maybe could have been a bit better. That seems like a good spot for it. Um, yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's just Inferno Ring that they put like wings at a beak on it, and then there's a fella coming out. It looks spooky. The grill. Okay, I kind of love this. Bottom of A, but only because it's actually pretty funny. It's the first of my recent ones. I'm gonna pull these up in full view. I can give my thoughts on all the I-ring bases I made. This one was pretty fun. I like the way the Inferno ring itself came out. I like it quite a lot. I like that I got to use the diamond bolts instead of the normal round bolts in Inferno ring. And I think the chips here look pretty cool. Mm, I would have liked to edit the bird, at all. It's just completely unedited, but it's fine. There's not really anything I needed to do with it. And the nest, yeah, the nest just doesn't look right. I think I did fine, all things considered. Like, I had no idea how I was going to draw a nest in the BTD6 style, but I think I pulled it off fine. Um, where did I leave you? I think it's like a low A tier. I'm pretty happy with it. Dark I could see. Yeah, it doesn't really look much like Inferno Ring. I don't know why they did bricks instead of just Inferno Ring. Like, I get that you're trying to make it an oven, but Inferno ring isn't an oven. It's like a flamethrower. I don't know what Inferno ring is, but it's not an oven. So just making it look like an oven doesn't make sense. And it doesn't fit Inferno ring. It doesn't fit Brickle. Nah. So it's pretty fine. I'm gonna P tier. Maybe high C tier. Fire looks alright. I I don't know. The heli's just being rad. Yeah. I'll leave it in high C. Yeah, it kinda has the same issues as this, honestly. Although the fire is a bit better. Ooh, this one. I think this is Barrel's best merge. I'm gonna put it right there. Maybe? I'll leave it right there. It just looks good. The fire looks good. The monkey looks good, even though it's a robot monkey that I usually don't like, but it works here. The ghost guy, I don't know what it's called, looks good. Being the fireball, that's a good looking merge. This one's improvable. Huh. Maybe there are a lot more improvable eye rings than I thought. Oopsie. It doesn't look all that ugly, so I can put it a bit higher up, but it's not good. You will take an up close gander at it. Oh, why is there crust all over the fire? Why is the fire just crusty all over? What is this thing? Is your tail on fire? Oh, why exactly are your eyes on fire? Why are you orange? Why is just everything just slightly orange tinted? Why is there just an upgrade icon pasted up? Yuck. No, it doesn't even look that good. It's gross. In the world. So crash one is kind of funny. What? Oh, those are like the pins, except the pins aren't pins anymore. They're just shooting fire out. It's another random thing. Like this looks like body horror. Why does he have random tumors sticking out of him? Why is he mostly unedited? Like, okay, you edited the hat, but then you just made it like a pale pinkish red. That Inferno ring isn't a pale pinkish red. It's orange and yellow, and it's very saturated. Why is it so desaturated? Screen is green when it clearly should have been orange. I mean, it's very unedited. The popped on top of this, it's a scene merge. It's yeah. There's just a lot wrong here. The idea of the drones being held up instead of by the propellers by like little fire things. It's kind of cool, but there's not enough fire here to convince me that those are actually holding it up. Just because you have a gun does not mean it needs to be shooting something. This is a classic mistake where people would be like, "Oh yeah, there's a gun, so it has to be shooting something because that's cooler." No, do not shoot tiny. Look how small this tack is. You can literally count like what? I could literally just count the pixels on that tack and it would be like less than 30. Yeah. Okay, that's enough. I'm just dogging on this at this point. Though, once again, do not do translucent fire. Just don't. If you want to show what's behind the fire, then just put the fire on top of the thing. Don't just make the fire translucent. That's my idea. Probably like bottom of F tier. This is just rough. Oh, good old Glorm. I was pretty proud of this at one point. Did spawn an emote, so that's pretty exciting. But it's also like cut off glow final boss, including perhaps the only example of diagonal cut off glow. We've hard pressed to find another merge that looks like that. This is a very high effort merge that ends up just not looking super great. The fire looks good, honestly. Well, kind of messy, but mostly looks good. So the raw Inferno ring here. Remember the fact that there are 4 tubes coming out of this thing that clearly has 5 things? Yeah, we're not going to worry about that. We're not going to worry about the tail just sticking straight into the fire. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Just look at it from a distance, then it kind of looks cool. Will be. Ooh, this is pretty cool. Yeah, this is done pretty well. The clothes are very good. I like the fire in the eye with the smoke. I forgot about this little burn mark on the hat. Honestly, yeah, it was kind of fun. It's a little goofy, but it makes the fire stick out and not melt into the hat. So the gun looks good. The other thing I don't really like is the skin of the monkey. I don't really like that it's just like this gray color that doesn't fit either tower very well. But it's still very cool. I'll give it like low A tier. This one looks kind of cool. Yeah, wow, okay, that's actually super solid. Huh. This looks like it's a really old merge, because I do not remember this being made at all. Which usually means it's an old merge, but it if it is in fact an old merge, it holds up very well. It's like pretty low A. That's just genuinely really good. See, next we have shoot on OBS. Am I still recording at like 360p or something? I think I have pretty low. No, it's 720. Okay, that's not too bad. I think I've been using fairly low settings for the merge recordings so that it doesn't make Frida lag a lot. Okay, this one's really cool. I like it. Done very well. I wish the fire was glowing, but otherwise it's perfect. It just looks very nice. I think it's a decent application of the upgrade icon and the eyes. Put this in A tier, mid A tier, somewhere in there. Ooh, non-mix merges can be good. Uh, yeah, I'm really proud of how this came out. The only part I don't really like is some of the tones of yellow down here. They look kind of bad. I wish I shaded that more in retrospect. In general, I could have added more gradients here. It's all pretty flat, but this still came out pretty cool. I like it. I like the little coin. I like how I initially had the merge flipped, like it was all mirrored, but then I mirrored it because when I put in the coin asset, the light is coming from this way, and I couldn't just flip the coin because then the S would be backwards. Then I flipped the entire rest of the merge, but it works just fine. I really like this one. I would put it like, honestly, pretty high A. See, this is, sort of I'm a bit mixed on. I think all the edits are really well done. The fire is sufficiently bright. I like the chimney here. It's all really well done. The part I don't like is that it removes a bunch of details from the original tower. It's the original Monkey Wall Street. It has flags and it has palm trees and it has bananas. It has a big old monkey head here, and this merge just removes all those details and doesn't add anything in place of them. So it makes it look like a very simple tower with very few details, which is unfortunate because all the details it does have are really good. Like the edits are great. It was just a bad choice to remove so many things and not put anything in their place. So it kind of looks like it would be like a tier 3 tower, maybe even a tier 2. Mm, I'd put it low B, maybe right here. Good old Monkeyopolis. I get why Stellar didn't want me to replace this. This is pretty funny. It wasn't until I pulled it up in full view recently that I noticed that this monkey is just labeled as a sacrifice. Oh, and look, the others are all angry and mean and evil, but he's not mean. He's just scared because he got the sacrifice stamp. He's got to be chucked into the flames. Oh no! And the city of slightly red buildings. Man, what was I thinking? I can't believe I almost replaced this. This is actually gold. I'm wow, this is so cool. And this random stray glow that I can't even tell where it came from. The way there's a bunch of glow in all the houses, but not really anywhere else. Like there's no ambient glow. It's like the glow. I mean, maybe that's realistic. The monkeys with their super harsh glow. Oh, yet all the highlights are still white. Like this bright yellow highlight here, but then the highlights are still white. Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're using just like monkeys in your merge, don't use dart monkeys. Never use dart monkey for anything. Like okay, genuinely straight up, 0 dart monkey, do not use it in your merge. Like okay, if you're making a special merge that specifically uses 0 dart monkey as a base, then okay. But otherwise, do not use 0 dart monkey because this doesn't look like oh it's a monkey. It looks like oh that's 0 dart monkey from Bloons Tower Defense 6. Just don't use it ever. Don't use its arms. Don't use its head. Don't use its legs. Never use it. Never ever ever. Unless you're this merge, in which case I'm really glad you used it because it looks funny. Can we have an F in the chat for the sacrifice monkey? He'll be remembered. I'm gonna put this one bottom of S. Ooh, open. This is a cool one. I kind of wish all these silver parts were darker. Like like Inferno Ring has like dark black parts, not just like silvery gray parts, but otherwise it's like it's perfect. Very cool. The fire it looks great. The face looks great. It's all really well done. That is another S tier for Stutter. I'd put it maybe here. This should maybe go like here. No, it goes like here. I'm not ordering these in tiers. This isn't real. Perma charge. This could be so much worse. I'm not gonna lie. Like this genuinely could be so much worse, but it's fine. Uh, the fire looks kind of goofy here, where there's a second translucent fire. I don't know what's going on there. And all these dark red parts absolutely should have been dark gray instead. Like it would, the merge would genuinely look so much better if it were done like that, but it wasn't. I'm just gonna put it bottom of C, maybe top of D. I think I can put it top of D. Yeah, honestly, Brickle belongs in D as well. It doesn't look like Inferno Ring. Should this be? This should be B. Yeah. And what's that permaspike? Sure is. This is pretty neat. Might be a bit too crowded with things going on, but it's really cool. Is this the one where some commenter on Reddit was heckling the entire merge community? Like, wow, finally an actually cool merge, something like that. That's kind of funny. Well, to their credit, it says it's a very cool merge. I like it. Well, it's slightly hard to tell that it's permaspike and not just like a thing. It just looks like a weird fire factory. Put like high A tier. Right here. These aren't orders and tiers. See, is that next? Oh, it is next. Yeah, very nice. Not the biggest fan of how the lava down here looks, but Otherwise, it's flawless. That's the only bad part. Yeah. This is just fun to look at, honestly. I'm just enjoying looking around at all the little parts of this. Well, look at a little fire skull. Yeah, very cool. That is. Yeah, check out how stacked S tier is. Um, this would go high. I think it goes. Honestly, I think it goes above. Yeah, it goes above Apache Prime. Would it go above Dawnfire? No, it doesn't go above Dawnfire. No. These aren't ordered within tiers, by the way. Top and Awe. Suit is unedited. It's all just orange and yellow without really enough black. Should just have like a gradient. Why is the fire or why is the glow like white? Except like the glow looks peach colored. Shouldn't be peach colored. Fire is kind of confusing me. Uh, yeah, there's a lot that I don't quite understand. And it doesn't even really look like Inferno Ring in the end. It honestly, I would probably think of blue incineration before I think of something with this one. Like genuinely, it was like C tier. This is honestly maybe B tier. Where'd that go? Bottom of C tier? Maybe D tier even. Honestly, probably. May have been too harsh on this one. It doesn't look that bad. Nah, it kind of does. The way it's mostly black, it's like that's not really what Inferno Ring looks like. Ooh, that's a cool one. Sigh. Yeah, this is so neat with all the rainbow fire effects. I think it maybe could have felt a bit more like Inferno Ring. I'm guessing this is based on that like sleepy skin. I'm not too familiar with it. I won't comment too much because is this S tier? I think it's S tier, but it's like bottom of S tier. Maybe high A tier, but I'll leave it there. Yeah, I won't. Yeah, I'm not gonna critique that one too much because I think it's using a skin that I'm just not very familiar with. I might remake. I'm probably not gonna remake this, but I kind of want to because it's it's just kind of acid spam. Like, okay, paste the bulbs in. Okay, now paste some lightning stuff in. I can't. I think the main body is recolored a little bit, but the fact that I can't tell is a bad thing. And then paste the little rods sticking out, but you can barely see them because they just blend into everything else and that covered by lightning. And then the giant laser beams sticking out of the top. You know what? Sure. The giant laser beam is funny enough to get a pass. Yeah, it's like do I give it D tier just for the laser beam? No, the laser beam looks bad. It's F tier. If I were to remake this using the same base, I would do it honestly pretty similarly. Um, yeah, actually, just looking at this, if I were to redo this, I would have the rods be sticking out of the sides here instead of the bulbs. And I might put the bulbs in here, but honestly, probably not. I might just have this be like laser colored. Or just not include bulbs at all. I'll definitely try to make the main body of it look more red and less orange. And then instead of a giant weird laser beam that's sticking out of frame, I would have the crystal thing. I think that would look cool. Just having that floating in the bowl. I think that'd be neat. Next up, Silas. That sounds pretty cool. The colors. The fireball works really well here. Could look a bit more like Inferno Ring, but that's admittedly pretty hard to do because The only parts you can make look mechanical are the clothes, unless you want to turn it into a robot monkey, which I don't want to happen. It's like no A tier. Ooh, Sky Shredder. This one's super neat. That the only thing I don't like is the translucent ring of fire in the background. It just doesn't look good. That's not what fire looks like. If you want to make the fire look a bit more like faded in the background, then have it be more like black and red. Because it has the bright white parts, except they're not bright because they're translucent, and it doesn't work. But besides that, this is really cool looking. It's a very neat looking merch. Could have also maybe fit the shape of Sky Shredder a bit better. So now it kind of just looks like a plane, but it's still really neat. This is maybe S tier. I think I'll give it top of A tier. This is an all merge. Kind of like it though. It's quirky. It's fun. Little head here. This little gauge thing that's goofy. The fire. I don't know what's going on with the fire here. It doesn't look very good, and I can't tell where it came from. Like I don't know why it's so detailed, sort of, and it's like layered where you can see a bright part being covered up by other fire. This is a mistake this is another mistake I see pretty commonly with fire. In fact, even some of the really good merges like Inferno does this, where there's a bright part of the fire that's just covered by darker fire, because that's not how fire works. Every part of the fire is glowing. So if there's like a bright white part, that should shine all the way through. All the white stuff should be on top. You're not going to have bright fire that's just behind darker fire and you can't see it because it's behind darker fire. That's not how fire works. It's not how light works. So fire is all light and it just combines together. So yeah, like literally if you look at where's Inferno? It gets away with it, but you can see the same thing where you have the bright white fire that's behind some less bright fire. That's not how it really works. But this is a case where I think it's just done to give the hair more obvious like volume, and it definitely works. It's something you don't notice nearly as much because for the most part, the hair is just this one blob in front, which is perfect and doesn't have any problems like that. But this one, it's a lot more noticeable because it has that issue like all over the fire. But I still think it's a fun looking merge. So instead of F tier, it gets to be in D tier. In fact, it gets to be kind of high in D tier. I think I bring this one too low. I could put it at top of D tier. Oh look, it's one of my moves. Is this the updated one? Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, pretty happy with this. I think it looks cool. I think it looks a bit like I think it has some details that are a bit too fine, like the way the strokes on the vines. I don't think they look great, and the brush strokes on the wood, it could be a bit better. Just in general, it's not as clean as I would like it to be, but it's still pretty cool. I put it in A tier. Above that. Mm, mm, I'll leave it below 11. Sub commander. Yeah, I didn't really know how to make the water down here better, and I didn't know what to do at the top, so I just did like the buoy thing, except instead of a light, it's just a fire because it's an Inferno ring. I I don't like the fire, I don't like the water, but beyond that, it's cool. I really like the way the actual machine looks, but everything else could have been better. Mm, It's B tier. High B tier, but it's B tier. Super brittle. This one's kind of a classic. I think it ended up being part of like one of the first special merges or something like that. And it was definitely like a pretty cool thing for the time. Like, ooh, it's Inferno Ring, but it's ice instead of fire. It's neat, but it just doesn't hold up. Not really sure what's going on with the glow back here, though it does kind of look like frost. The ice, it's fine. The little thing here, I don't know why it's partially erased. It's a bit silly. Yeah, it's probably F tier, honestly. It doesn't really look much like Super Brittle. Like honestly, when I looked at it, I actually forgot that it was Super Brittle and not Absolute Zero. I looked at it and thought like, oh yeah, Absolute Zero. Super Brittle. Okay. Yeah, you can go right there. Hmm, is that smell? Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's supposed to be smell, but then you covered up all the smell parts with fire, so you can't see any of the smell anymore. And so now the only smell part that's left is blue, except it's a different shade of blue from smell. So now you just have blue fire, and Iring doesn't have blue fire; it has orange fire. Yeah, this just does not work for me. And the fire layering is weird. Once again, you have darker fire in front of lighter fire back here. I mean, I don't like how this was executed. It's it's high D tier down here. Supermines. Yeah. Needed more recoloring. Because it's still mostly like these deep red colors that Inferno Ring doesn't really have. That's fine. Probably another D tier. Down below some of these. Right about there. Ooh, this is a new one. Biggest one. Yeah, this one came out great. Excuse that. Yeah, biggest one came out great. I think these little things look a bit rough because they're not really fitting the perspective. But that's really hard to do. Like if I had to do that, I would kind of hate doing it. It would be really hard. But yeah, besides that, it looks really neat. It's A tier. I'm pretty high A tier as well. Yeah, I might put all the way up here. Maybe this is just a bit cleaner. Hmm. That's weird. It kind of feels like there's. I should put some. I should put this a little bit lower. Yeah, this doesn't look as much like Inferno Ring. Put you. I'll put you right here. Maybe move this down a couple slots. It kind of feels like I'm leaving a pretty big gap between S tier and A tier. I guess the S tier merges are mostly just like the tryhard stellar merges, and then then all the A tier ones are the not stellar merges. Yeah. No, this could go a bit higher. I think this one's a bit cleaner, but this one's a fair bit cooler. Uh, it's Blazing Sun, yes, it is. So it's pretty fun. I think you could use more orange and stuff. That's a lot of colors, and none of them are orange. As long as he's using the Blazing Sun as a base, then it kind of needs more of that Inferno Ring vibe. I think it's kind of fun that it did use like the blue sort of fire that Blazing Sun has, but yeah, it looks really neat. I think it just could have been more recognizable as an Inferno Ring. Put it like about here in VT. Remember this one? I think that's my friend to make this. It's pretty fun. The giant fire. Ooh. Wait, what the? What is this? Why is there a tiny infernal ring here? Why is there a yellow group? Is there like neon yellow group inside the thing? Is it D tier? No D tier. Ooh. That is so cool. I really like the way this smell was done. Yeah, that was great. The mask was great. Yeah. Yes. Up into S tier. Where in S tier? There in S tier. Yeah. This one. Final harmonic. Kind of quirky with a little cello. Uh, I don't know. Cello is fun and unique, but it also feels kind of random. Like, okay, so you're taking the music from Final Harmonic, but then what are you taking from Inferno Ring? The Final Harmonic, like instruments aren't really a thing for it. Feels like a cymbals merge. Then okay, sure, yeah, have some various instruments in there. Maybe not stringed instruments, but like yeah, you can have instruments in there. The Final Harmonic doesn't use instruments. It sings. It's a singer. So I don't think you can. It's like it's not just music. It is like pretty specifically singing. So if you want to give it an instrument, I think the instrument needs to kind of come from somewhere and it needs to fit the other tower. And this doesn't really. There's yeah, the cello just kind of came out of nowhere. Beyond that, it's really good. I like it. The like the fire colors on the background effect look super nice. And the firebow is kind of fun too. But yeah, the also the cello is really well drawn. I'm pretty impressed by that. But the cello needed more of a reason to put it like mid beat here. Sure. This one came out super good. I'm really pleased with this one. It's been a lot of Inferno Ring base merges where I make the whole machine and then I get to the fire and then it's like, what do I do? And this was going the same way where I didn't really know what to do, but I thought, okay, maybe I could try just doing the fire, except having it look like the VTSG effects. And it just worked so much better than I expected it to. It looks really unique. I don't think I've seen any other merges that have this kind of a like dark evil effect for VTSG. Yeah, I really like how it turned out with the lightning and stuff. Hopefully, it doesn't look weird. It's all based on the BTSG projectiles, which do have like white lightning around them. Hopefully, that looks fine. Would I put this in S? It's at the bottom of S or top of A. Maybe not above Shredder. I'll leave it right there. Sarbama. Wow, that is very low res. Why is the fire still why is there no explosion? Why was the explosion removed? Maybe make the fire appear look weird. Why was the explosion just completely removed? Just make it a more fiery explosion. Why is there like a 10% opacity bit of fire over the bomb? It makes no sense. Is it firebombing in Japan? Why is the window just orange? Why isn't it like a bright white, yellow, orange fire gradient? Why is it just dark orange? Yeah. Also, the plane should have been dark gray instead of the same light silver gray. F tier, but high F tier. And the last one, the most recent one, Ultra Boost. This one came out really nicely. This one went well. I've had a few of these where I've like struggled a good bit with it, but this one went smoothly from start to finish. It's a bit hard reconstructing the rest of this fan thing. Shoot, I should probably put that as an asset. Yeah, okay. But yeah, this came out cool. The aesthetic is really nice. It just works great. I do hope it's an improvement over the old one. Yeah. This one isn't bad at all. I really like all the gradients it has. Like there's a little fire gradient here. The fire gradient on the lightning looks fantastic. But yeah, it could have used some more edits, definitely. It's too much white still there. Let's see, A tier? Yeah, A tier. But this should be lower. This could maybe be a bit higher. And that can stay right there. That is the final tier list then. Yeah, probably the biggest S tier we'll ever have. It's too bad that I don't have any merges up there. Unless I want to. No. Yeah, this is a massive S tier. This tourney is going to be a bloodbath. Mm. And yeah, not too many merges down here. It's yeah, massive S tier, big A tier, C tier. Wasn't C tier like huge at the start? How did it end up being the smallest tier? It's funny. I could promote YouTube. Actually, no, I don't like the creates an extra row. But no, I probably won't even do that in the end. I'm gonna export the image. Okay, that leaves only one more thing, deciding which one I like best. I think it's gonna be Mad. I think it's gonna be Mad. Mad is just so cool. I'm a really big fan of how it turned out. Okay. Ah, no, that you gotta be kidding me. I really didn't want to have that just be on its own row. Darn it. Okay. One of these merges is getting demoted to A tier. Which one is it? Shoot, they're all so good though. Would I demote this one? Maybe this one, because it's too blue. Maybe this one, because it's too blue. That was really good fire. Does this one look like iRing? Does this one look like iRing? This one doesn't look that much like iRing. Sorry, Stellar. It's okay, you still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 S tier merges in one tournament. That is nuts. There it is. That is my opinionated tier list on every Inferno ring merge except for Lucilia. Yep. Thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts in your own head. I don't want to hear them.